What are you doing out of bed? You've got a temperature. No wonder, the way you take care of yourself. And what are you doing without any slippers on? I bought you slippers. Now, where are they? No wonder you catch cold.
I had, in the 2 years, 2 mothers. The beauty of working with Lillian Randolph is she played my mother, but in the white movies and white TV, she had this, well, I don't really you can put in practice. And she was a funny woman, and that was the humor of, what you heard, that kind of thing. So my show, she's my mother, and so her character was not that. She played a different character. But she's still funny.
Have you had your breakfast?
I'm not hungry, Mom.
Feed a cold, starve a fever.
Right. Well, Mom, you didn't have to come over.
Just look at this place. It's a mess. The way you live, no wonder you catch cold.
I believe Lillian became very, very ill. Then Bea Richards came.
It's hard to believe she's no longer with us.
Yes, Aunt Harriet was a wonderful woman. Of course, now, I know why you want me to go to the reading of the will, but why do I really have to go?
Out of respect. Besides, Aunt Harriet was very fond of you.
But I hardly even saw the woman, Mom.
She never forgot that you always sent her candy on her birthday.
I never sent her candy. Brian was the one who sent her candy. I sent her flowers.
Well, she never forgot.
The beautiful thing about Bea Richards is that Bea Richards, you can't find any tape or film on Bea Richards being a stereotypical white racists will love this character woman. Bea Richards just never stood for that. She's a brilliant actress.
You know, Dad could stay with me while you're away.
Oh, that's a wonderful idea.
Absolutely not. Chet has his own life. I'm not going to be a burden on my children.
Now, you wouldn't be a burden. I mean, we'd have a good time.
Please.
Well, if it'll make your mother feel better. But I want you to know one thing, Chester. I'm not going to be any trouble.
How could you be trouble? You're father and son.
That's right. And tomorrow night, it'll be just you and me.
Fred Pinkert played Chet's father. Now, the interesting thing about Fred is a highly respected stage actor, a wonderful man. Fred played my father, and I'll tell you how good Fred is. Fred is only 2 years older than I. As a matter of fact, Lee Weaver, the actor who played my brother, was older than Fred. So Weaver is older than his father. So that's what acting can do and movie making can do for you. But Fred had this way of saying Chester. And once again, the character of Chet is not a wimp or a punk, but this is of a guy who is brought up with people nurturing him, talking to him as elders, as parents. These are the people who gave Chet Kincaid that feeling of confidence about himself. And so, for that, he respects whatever they say. They may be wrong, but there's a respect there. There is no, I'm not listening to these people because they've made decisions in their lives that are not great. I mean, there was nothing like that.
Chester! Oh! Oh, my goodness! My, you have grown. Have you graduated from high school yet?
Yes, I have, Aunt Bertha. I've graduated college and I'm teaching school now.
Really? Did you hear that? My goodness, the last time I saw him, he was just up so high.
When I moved on to the Warner Brothers lot, In the movie division, because we were TV, but our work on stage was with the movie unions. But the movie people had no black people at all on their lot in the unions. So I went to Marvin Miller, my producer, and I said, "Look, Marvin, this is very, very embarrassing for me. I'm working, I'm generating money, paying Warner Brothers a lot of money, rent here, and I'm paying Union, but Union is embarrassing me by sending nothing but white people to work." So we had a meeting with the union. The union guy had, of course, been confronted before with this, but never before with somebody who had the money to say, that's okay. Because what he said was, we're willing to set it up so that you can get black people in the union. We have nothing against black people being in the union. We love black people. They're our favorite black people. But what we want to do right now is let you know that the white person cannot be penalized because you want black people in the union. So we have to keep the white person working, and then we can put the black person in the union, and you do that by putting the black person behind the white person while they're doing the internship and learning, which means, now this was the part where people generally fell apart, which means that you have to pay both the white and the black full salary, which means that your payroll will probably triple in cost. And he didn't smile after he said it. He just said it, and then he waited for, well, we'll get back to you or whatever usually happens. But Marvin and I, we sort of went 1, 2, 3, okay. And then the guy, I didn't see any movement, or he said, okay, fine. Then obviously he was prepared for something like that because he went to level 2, and he said, okay, what I have to tell you is that this is a 16-week program. 16, and then you when you deal with somebody and you know they don't want you, they become very concerned for you. That's the first sign you can recognize that. And he said, I have to tell you that 16 weeks you guys are going to have to pay this perhaps triple salary. I don't know where you're getting the capital from, but you know, I'm just warning you, I'm concerned about your monetary survival. So we said, start it. And they stayed for the 16 weeks. They took the exams and they passed. There was just one sad story, and I won't mention her name. She was a sweet and wonderful woman. And she was in hair, specifically doing all, well, any kind of style. And she'd been in hair for years, but she had no union card. And time, the 16 weeks are up. And I waited 2 weeks and I called her. I said, when are you going to take the test? Oh, I will. So another 2 weeks, she's still working on my show, doing people's hair. So I said, listen, did you take the test? No, I did. So this is the third time I've gone to her. So I called her into my office. I said, look, help me out. Why won't you take the test? And she said, well, Mr. Cosby, I have friends, and I don't want to upset them. And they say that if I get why do I want a card? And if I get a card, I'm just afraid they won't talk to me anymore. And I said to her, it doesn't make any difference that they don't want you in the union and you can't find a logical reason for them not wanting you in the union when they happen to be saying that you're their friend, and you will be their friend if you not come in the union. Are you aware of the fact that if you get in the union, you will have done something that no one has done, and you will also open the door for another African American, if that person wants to become a hairdresser, to not be blocked anymore? And she said, but Mr. Cosby, these are my friends. They've been my friends for, and I said, okay. So I'm going to have to let you go. She said, I understand. I said, and I wish you had told me this when your friends said so to you. And then I found a woman named Eddie. Now, Eddie came in, and I said to Eddie, now look, we're not talking about busting anything. We're not talking about anything except if in your life you grow up and you want to be a hairdresser in the movies or on television, and this is what you feel you want to do. You don't want to own a shop. You just want to do hair. And you want to learn how to do hair and put wigs on and learn that kind of thing technically. And you can learn it when you become an intern in the union. That's what we're talking about. Are you willing to do all of that and get your card so that others will know that they can, with their dream, no matter how late they dream, they can try? She said, Mr. Cosby, first of all, I don't have any racist friends. So I said, okay. And Eddie stayed with it. Oddly enough, Eddie made friends, because I would hear them over there while they're doing hair, and they were joking and laughing. And Eddie even fell asleep one time. I went over to her, I said, Eddie, she said, Mr. Cosby, I had a rough night trying to put this wig together for so forth and so on, practicing for the class, and I will never do it again. I said, please, if you have to fall asleep, Eddie, it's embarrassing for me to look and see the white person or a black person at X dollars per hour of my money given to me by NBC. So she laughed. She's been wonderful. And I've carried that around because we also did it in the second season. And so I don't know the numbers of people we were responsible for. But I will tell you that the union never brought in any violence. They brought in some, what they thought were verbal obstacles. Well, we don't know if you can do this and take it, and is that person ready to be there for this or that? But it worked.
How do I look?
What are you this week?
Can't you see? Instructor. Dolphin swim school.
I already know how to swim.
Oh, well, I'm not selling lessons, and I only teach little kids.
Just on a level?
Yeah, I just thought you'd like to see that I took your advice.
Oh, that's wonderful. But you can't come in.
Oh, I don't want to come in.
Okay.
No, I just thought you'd be happy about this.
Yeah. Now, see that? There you are, coming in again.
When you work with Don Knotts, it's, as an actor, it's similar to standing next to Jonathan Winters.
I don't need my floors waxed.
Chet, your floors look terrible. Now stand back, because this baby really goes. Watch easy. Ooh, easy. Whack it, Chet.
It's eating up my foot.
If you leave your character just a smidget open, you're going to start laughing. So the concentration has to be perfect.
Watch it. Ooh. I'm sorry, Chet. Watch it, Chet. I'm on the guard.
Brian Kincaid's wife, Olga James, is married to Cannonball Adderley, the super colossal alto saxophonist and brother of Nat Adderley and leader of their own bands, and fantastic alto player. You'll hear him on all of those kind of blue recordings with Miles Davis and John Coltrane. And Olga was wonderful, and I think that's how we got Cannonball Adderley to play on some of the tracks of the scoring with Quincy Jones in the show. I think I directed 3 episodes.
Action! Wait, hold on 1 second.
What's wrong, Mr. Kincaid?
Well, I want to take advantage of the sun. See, the sun's coming in this way. Don't worry about a thing. Here we go.
I don't care for directing. It's a wonderful job. And I can tell directors what to do, but I don't want to do it.
Here we go.
33.
Now, wait a minute! You have to wait till I say action. Okay. Here we go. Action! Didn't you guys hear me say cut? Don't you know what cut means? Cut.
And I took great pride in one thing about my directing. Most of the shows were shot in 3 days. The shows that I did, the crew knew they would be home in 2.5 days. The editors knew that they would be in the hospital looking for other pieces. Because I would leave stuff out. And I didn't mean to do it on purpose, I just didn't know what I was doing.
Gonna get some raggets and some rolls and reasonizers. Every day.